Okay, good morning, Year 7. So today's lesson is going to be on angles in quadrilaterals. So we've finished on angles in triangles and we're going to move on to quadrilaterals today. So can you please write your date, title and your learning objective there as well and underline those things. Pause the video if you need to do so. And then we shall get going with our first example. Or I'll talk you through a few bits before we do that. So firstly, I guess we'd better talk about what a quadrilateral is. Now, if we look onto this page, it says a quadrilateral is any shape with 4 straight sides and includes 4 angles. I've added in there because we know that, if you've got 4 sides to a shape, you also have to have 4 angles, just like, in a triangle. If you've got a 3-sided shape, you have 3 angles and so on. So this is really important that you understand a quadrilateral is any shape with 4 straight sides, the straight being very important there. You can't have a quadrilateral is not something that has like this, for example, is not a quadrilateral. Even though you've got 1, 2, 3 straight sides, you've got a curved side here. So this is not a quadrilateral. This is your quadrilateral because all of the sides are straight. So let's have a look at the next thing. The angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. I'd like you to copy that sentence into your book and use your highlighter or draw a box around it like we do in class. And then I also would like you to draw that shape there, that quadrilateral there with the angles inside A, B, C and D and the sentence down here. So you're copying the whole thing into your books, please. So pause the video and do that now. So what this means, very, very simply, is these 4 angles added together have to make 360 degrees. And I'll show you why. Because if we split this quadrilateral into 2, say we split it from that side to that side, we've created 2 triangles. And we know that in a triangle, the angles add up to 180. And the angles add up to 180. So if we added 180 to 180, we would get 360. So that's why your angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees, because you can make 2 triangles out of any quadrilateral. So if I just get rid of some of that. So those 4 angles there, A, B, C and D, have to add together to make 360 degrees, always. So here's your first example here. So example number 1, you will need to draw the quadrilateral there. Now this is quite a similar example to one of the ones that I did with a triangle where you've got 1 angle on the outside. Now we obviously can't find that angle on the outside without having A. So we're going to need to find A first. Now what I will say, you can use your calculator with these questions, okay, but you still need to use your working out. So we're going to ignore B for now and we're going to focus on the angle A. Now I want you to think about, before I tell you how to do it, I want you to think about how you would do this. What do you think you could do? Very similar to what we do with triangles. So what I would do is I would add together the angles that you do have in the quadrilateral. So I would add together 83, add 78, add 135, and I would work out what that was. Now give me a moment whilst I type that into my calculator. So 83, add 78, add 135, that gives me 296 degrees. So that's what those 3 add up to, and we know that if we have to add A, that will have to make it go up to 360 degrees. So what we can do is we can do 360 degrees, take away 296, always that way around. You always do 360, take away what you've got, and we'll find out what A is. And we get 64 degrees. So A equals 64 degrees. Now, what do we notice about this line here? What do we notice about it? Hopefully we notice that it's a straight line. And if we remember our rules, that we have to say an angle on a straight line has to add up to 180 degrees. So A and B together, A plus B, has to make 180 degrees. Well, we know one of them. We know one of them is 64. So what's the other one got to be? Well, the way we can find out is 180 minus 64. And that gives us 116 degrees. So B is 116 degrees. Okay, so there's our two answers here. A is 64 and B is 116 degrees. Now, you'd have to do it that way round. You wouldn't be able to find B by itself, would you? Because there's nothing to do with B there. Nothing can help you find B if you haven't got A. So you have to find A first in this instance. Okay, so make sure you've got that copied down. Don't just leave that. That's really important that you've got that in your book so that you can look at it when you're doing these questions. So your first lot of questions here are just finding the missing angles in the quadrilateral. So it's adding all the angles up and taking away from 360 for each of these. I would like you to draw them, please, just as usual. There's only 6 to draw here. Now, they don't have to be really accurate. I just also want to draw your attention to this one here. Make sure you include that angle when you're adding them all up. Don't miss out your 90 degrees there. That's your first question. Your second question are these two. So you've only got 8 shapes to draw in total. These are a little bit difficult, more difficult. Again, make sure you remember about those 90 degrees there. Now this one you would have to find A first, just like we did in the example, and then B after. So A first and then B second. But then for this one, I hope you can see that you've actually got B first and you need to find, or in this case it might be D. Oh no, D's up there. Anyway, whatever. You'd have to find this angle first by using your angles on a straight line, and then you can find D. Now remember, whatever is on the outside does not count as being in the quadrilateral, does not count. So you can't use that in the 360 degrees. That's all by itself. It's an outsider. You can't use it. Okay, so where are we at? So here are your instructions. Please submit a picture of your work on the Google Classroom or email me a picture. Any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always here and I always reply as soon as I can. And have a great day. Now, I think I've included answers for these on the next page. But that's only for marking, not for just filling in your answers with. Otherwise, you'll just be cheating yourself, won't you? So you can mark your work after you've done it using the answers on the next page. I'm not going to show you them. Okay? So, remember, any questions, just let me know and I will do my best to help you. Have a lovely day, Year 7.